A few decades ago, having knowledge was enough. If you had a university degree, if you had specialized information, if you had experience in a certain field, you were valuable. But the world today moves differently. Industries evolve quickly, new technologies appear every few years, entire job categories emerge while others disappear. And with AI entering more areas of work, many routine tasks are becoming automated. So the real question is no longer, what do you know? The real question is, what makes you valuable? Because in a world where information is abundant, value comes from something deeper than knowledge. It comes from skills, skills that make you adaptable, skills that make you effective, skills that make you difficult to replace. In this video, we'll explore 7 skills that will make you valuable in the future, not just successful. Let's start with the most important one. The first skill that will make you valuable in the future is learning how to learn. This may sound simple, but it is incredibly powerful, because the biggest mistake people make is thinking that education ends at school. But in reality, education never ends. The world will keep changing, new tools will appear, new systems will replace old ones. And the people who succeed are not the ones who learned the most in the past, they are the ones who can learn the fastest now. Think about it this way, if 2 people enter a new industry, one of them relies only on what they already know, the other one constantly learns, experiments, reads, and adapts. Who will grow faster? Obviously the second one. The ability to learn quickly gives you a permanent advantage, because even if the rules change, you can simply learn the new rules. But learning today is also different from learning in the past. It's not just about studying for years. It's about learning quickly, applying immediately, improving continuously. Instead of consuming information endlessly, valuable people turn knowledge into action. They start learning by doing. And that mindset alone can accelerate your growth more than almost anything else. But learning quickly is not enough if you cannot share what you know, which brings us to the second skill. In the future, communication will remain one of the most powerful skills you can develop, because ideas only matter if people understand them. You might have a brilliant idea, you might see opportunities others don't, but if you cannot explain your thoughts clearly, your ideas will never reach their potential. Communication is not just speaking well, it includes explaining complex ideas simply, presenting your thoughts clearly, persuading others, and listening carefully. In many workplaces, the people who move forward are not always the most technically skilled. They are the ones who can translate ideas into clear messages. They help teams understand problems. They help organizations make decisions. They connect people and ideas together. And this becomes even more important in the age of AI, because AI can generate information, but humans still need to interpret it, present it, and turn it into meaningful decisions. Think about the difference between these 2 people. One person has great knowledge but struggles to explain it. The other person understands things well enough and communicates them clearly. Most of the time, the second person will have more influence, because clarity creates impact. A simple test is this: if you cannot explain your idea in 30 seconds, you probably don't understand it deeply enough yet. And that brings us to another skill that becomes more important when information becomes abundant. In the past, the biggest challenge was finding information. Today, the challenge is filtering information. We live in a world where there is more content, more opinions, and more data than ever before. Everyone has something to say. But not everything is accurate, and not everything is useful. This is where critical thinking becomes extremely valuable. Critical thinking means the ability to question information, analyze arguments, evaluate evidence, and make better decisions. It means not accepting everything you hear at face value, but it also does not mean rejecting everything either. It means thinking carefully before forming conclusions. This skill becomes even more important in the age of AI. AI can generate answers quickly, but it cannot fully replace human judgment. You still need to ask, is this answer correct? Does it apply to my situation? What assumptions are behind it? People who develop strong critical thinking skills become trusted decision makers. They don't just repeat information, they evaluate it. And in a world full of noise, clear thinking becomes incredibly valuable. But even good thinking alone is not enough if you resist change, which leads us to the next skill. One of the biggest reasons people struggle in a rapidly changing world is not lack of intelligence. It's resistance to change. Humans naturally prefer stability. We like routines. We like familiar systems. But the reality of the modern world is that change is constant. Industries evolve, technologies improve, work environments shift. And those who adapt quickly gain an advantage. Adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your values or identity. It simply means being flexible in how you approach problems. Instead of saying, "This is how things have always been done," adaptable people ask, "How can this be done better now?" They experiment, they learn new tools, they update their methods, they stay curious rather than defensive. Think about professionals who refuse to learn new technology. Over time, they slowly become less relevant, not because they are less capable, but because they stop adapting. Adaptability is not a one-time adjustment, it is a mindset. A mindset that says, no matter how the environment changes, I will find a way to grow within it. And one area where adaptability matters greatly is technology itself. Which brings us to the next skill. You don't need to become a programmer. You don't need to become an AI engineer. But in the future, you do need to understand the tools shaping the world around you. This is what we call digital and AI literacy. It means understanding how digital systems work. It means knowing how to use modern tools efficiently. And increasingly, it means understanding how to collaborate with AI. Today, many professionals are already using AI to summarize information, generate ideas, assist with writing, analyze data, automate repetitive tasks. But there is also an important balance. AI is powerful, but it is not perfect. It can generate mistakes, it can lack context, it can misunderstand complex situations. So the goal is not to blindly rely on AI, the goal is to use AI as an amplifier. Think of it as a powerful assistant. It can speed up your work. But you still guide the direction. The people who thrive in the future will not necessarily be those who build AI, but those who know how to work intelligently with it. And while technology continues to evolve, one thing remains constant. Human relationships. Which is why the next skill is deeply human. As technology becomes more advanced, human skills become more valuable, and one of the most important human skills is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage emotions, your own emotions, and the emotions of others. In professional environments, this skill can make a massive difference. Two people may have similar knowledge and technical ability, but the one who understands people better often becomes the stronger leader. Because work is not just about tasks, it is about collaboration, it is about managing conflict, it is about motivating teams, it is about building relationships. People remember more than just what you know, they remember how they feel when they work with you. Someone who is calm under pressure, respectful, and emotionally aware becomes extremely valuable in any team, especially in environments where stress and uncertainty are common. And yet, even if someone has all these skills, there is one final factor that determines whether they actually succeed. Execution. Many people know what they should do, but far fewer people actually do it consistently. And that is where self-discipline becomes powerful. Self-discipline is the ability to do what matters, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the bridge between potential and results. You might understand all the right strategies, you might have the right knowledge, you might even have great opportunities. But without discipline, none of that turns into progress. Discipline is not about being harsh on yourself. It is about building systems that support your goals. Small habits, consistent effort, daily progress. Over time, discipline compounds. A person who improves just a little every day becomes incredibly powerful after years. And in a world filled with distractions, discipline becomes a rare advantage. Because many people start things, but fewer people finish them. So when we talk about the future of work, the conversation often focuses on technology, automation, artificial intelligence, robotics. But the real story is not about machines replacing humans. The real story is about humans evolving. The people who will thrive in the future are not necessarily the ones with the highest IQ, and not necessarily the ones with the most degrees. They are the people who learn continuously, communicate clearly, think critically, adapt quickly, use technology wisely, understand people deeply, and execute with discipline. In other words, they build themselves, because the future does not belong to those who wait for stability. It belongs to those who prepare for change. And if you develop these skills, you won't just survive the future. You will help shape it.